Hey everybody, this is Robert People of robertpeople.com, and you are listening to People's Court. Thank you for tuning in. Today is Monday, December 16th, 2019. And what are you doing today? What are you doing? Okay, and I ask you that. I don't mean if you're going to work. Are you going to work? Are you running errands? That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about what are you doing to reach your ambitions, to reach your goals. That's what I'm talking about. Whatever you are aspiring to do. Not to say that those ambitions and everything is not important, but I'm talking about something that you've always wanted to do. Is today going to be the day that you start doing that, working towards success? If you've already started, what are you doing to continue that process? What are your goals for today, for this week, for this month, for the rest of this year? We have a new year coming up in a few weeks. So now is a good time to start putting those plans together and getting your goals straight to see what you're trying to do for the week. But this is where a lot of us are tripped up. When it comes to success, and this is what I'm talking about today. When it comes to success, you will be uncomfortable at some point, or it's not going to happen. A lot of times, this is what stops us. We stop because we want to get here or there without being uncomfortable. We want everything to stay the same while we're working toward whatever it is we're working to. Something has to change. If what you've been doing is not working, you got to change something. It is not going to be an easy process. This is not to sit here and tell you it's going to be easy. No one who has made it to where they are has gotten there easy, or even has maintained what they have, their level of success, without being uncomfortable at some point. That's where you have to be. So many people get out there and they want to be successful, which is a change, which is life-changing for a lot of folks. It's life-changing. They want to do something that's going to change their lives, but they don't want but nothing in their life is supposed to change in order to make that happen. You can't stay with what you've been doing and expect something different and expect something life-changing. It's just not going to happen. Something in your life has to shift in order to get you that success you're looking for. But you got to be uncomfortable. You cannot avoid that. If you're not a morning person, guess what? Train yourself to be a morning person. If you don't like staying up late at night, start doing that. But you can't keep down the same path and expect something different. And so many of us do that. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. Something needs to change to get you that level of success that you want. If you are looking to, let's say you have a goal, this is going to be the year, which hopefully you're starting right now, but this is going to be the year that you lose weight. Great. But at some point during that process, you're going to have to make yourself uncomfortable, because if the weight is supposed to come off, you got to put some type of work in order for that to happen. And it's going to take effort. It's going to take effort. But you can do it. You can do it. No one grows unless you begin doing something different than you've been doing. Take a look at bodybuilders while we're on the subject of that, or in the similar area. Bodybuilders don't get bigger because they continue lifting the same weight. Eventually they have to increase what they're picking up. That's when their body starts to grow. That's when changes begin to happen in that area. You can't continue doing the same thing and expect different results. It's just not going to happen. And uncomfortable can't be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You got to do it a lot. This has to become part of what you do every day. I'm working on a book right now. This will be number 6 for me. And this time I'm talking about how to write a book. I'm mostly talking about the process though. And where I am in the beginning of this is to get you ready for really getting the writing done. And the same process follows. This is where I am right now on it. But the same thing follows. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. You have to make time. People often ask, how do you find time to do this stuff? And it doesn't have to be about writing. It could be anything. Well, I don't have time to work out. Well, I don't have time to write. Well, I don't have time to practice this. I don't have time to practice that. I don't have time to do all this and that. You have time. It's about making time. Everybody gets the same 24 hours every day. We all do. Time management is key. It's about what you choose to do with that time. Successful people don't get more hours in a day than you do. They just use it differently. If you sit back and wait for time to just open up, it never will. It's that simple. It will never open up if you just sit back waiting for it to happen. You got to go out. You got to grab it. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about important things. So, don't sit there and skip your child's violin recital or miss doctor's appointments and things like that. Obviously, that stuff takes precedence. But you're going to have to sacrifice. And that sacrifice is going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to make you uncomfortable. But that's how you make things happen. And you're not sacrificing emergency stuff. Your favorite show comes on one night, okay. Skip it this time. Use that hour, do some writing, and catch the show after that. Oh, I know. Some people, people are going to give spoilers and tell everything that's going to happen on social media. So turn social media off. That's another thing. Turn social media off. No one should be trying to reach you if it is an emergency, if you're sitting on social media. They should not be doing it through social media anyway. If somebody needs to contact you and it is an emergency, I would love to hope they're not using social media to do it. Nothing is happening on social media. Nothing is happening on social media that is so vital that any of us have to be on there. You choose to be on. Just log off. Turn it off. That way you'll be just fine. You won't get your spoiler. You'll be able to watch the show later on. Nobody's going to ruin it for you. That's it. And again, with sacrifice. Telling someone to log off social media. Half of you probably turned this off after I said that. I probably lost some listeners with that one. But that's what you have to do. You have to put yourself in a place that you were not, where you were not at before. You have to do something different. Something has to change. And yes, getting off social media, we can say whatever we want about that. But guess what? That does make some people uncomfortable. And if that makes you uncomfortable, great. This is not about being a haters for hating on social media. This is not about that. There's nothing wrong with using social media. That's what it's there for. Enjoy, have fun. But you got to cut back on that if you want to get somewhere. You have to. If you're trying to be successful at whatever it is that you're trying to do, you got to cut back on it. Yeah, I know it's fun looking at everybody's drama and sitting there scrolling all day and seeing with all this and commenting on that and fighting with people on this. I get it. I completely get it. But when you ask things like, what can I do differently? Or not what can I do differently, but, how can I find time? No, that's when you make time. I repeat sacrifice. I repeat making time because that's one of the parts so many people have an issue with. See that nice car driving down the street, right? Or that nice car parked outside, where your neighbor's house is or wherever else. And you see it every day. Or when you go to work. Man, I want a new car. I want a car like that. people say. But at the same time you want that, you're not going to change your spending habits. You can't afford the car now, but you're not going to change your spending habits and you expect to get the car. How does that work? No, you got to make yourself uncomfortable, even in that case. And this is not about, well, that's just a car, that's not success. Okay, it doesn't have to be about earning $1 million or becoming a billionaire and all this. That could be something too, something as small in the grand scope of things as buying a new car, which for some people is a big deal. You still have to change what you're doing. You have to make yourself uncomfortable in some type of way. Everything can't be served up to you and silver platter and all that. Sometimes you're going to have to cut back on some things, change something in order to make that happen. And too often we want success without change. If I'm not successful right at this very moment, how in the world is doing the same thing I've been doing going to get me there? It's not. Something has to be different. As I said earlier, that same 24 hours that everyone gets, it's about how you choose to use it. It's about how you choose to utilize that time. Time management makes all the difference in the world. You got to sit down and you got to really look at what's going on. And again, with the exception of emergencies, people, we tell ourselves all the time, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I just got to do that. And this is not stuff taking my, daughter to a doctor's appointment, or I need to go get a checkup. I'm not talking about stuff like that. We tell ourselves that things that aren't important are things we have to do. If you wake up in the morning and the first place you go is social media, tell me why you, quote unquote, have to do that. Why is that what you do? How much time do you end up spending? There's a feature, and I don't know exactly how to get there, but I'm sure it's not going to be hard to figure out. Or I know how to do it. I just can't describe it at this moment because I'm on here. But you can look at your screen time every week. You can check your screen time on your phone, the iPhone at least, and you'll be able to know what type of time you're spending. If you're on, social media for, even if it's 30 minutes a day, the standard month, that's 900 minutes. 900 minutes, do the math real quick. 900 minutes, 15 hours. So in 1 month, even if it's only 30 minutes, and 30 minutes doesn't seem like much in a day. Oh, 30 minutes of social media, that's easy. I can do that. That's not too bad. But in a month, 15 hours. How much can you get done in 15 hours toward whatever it is you're trying to do? 15 hours we're talking about. And that's if you spend only 30 minutes. Which a lot of people, the way you're walking around and in the store, getting in everybody's way, almost hitting me on the interstate, because you're looking at social media, you're on for way more than 30 minutes half the time. But this is where you save that time. Now, the examples I just gave, you may say, well, wait a minute. If I'm playing on social media, if I'm in the store, I wouldn't have time to be writing because I'm in the store already. Yes, true enough. Correct. But if you're messing with social media during those times, and you really shouldn't be because your focus should be on everything else going on, how much time are you spending on social media when nothing is happening? Probably double, triple the time, right? I doubt people will spend less time on the road. I damn hope so. People will not spend more time on social media while they're driving than when they're sitting at home on the couch. That's totally backwards if that's what you do. But you got to change what's going on. You got to change it to the point of being uncomfortable. You can't give up a little bit and want the whole thing. Yes, you can work at it. You can reduce what's going on. Take your time. Cold turkey doesn't work for a lot of people. But if you have your goal set to whatever it's set to, you have to make sure you have to change something. To get something you've always wanted, you got to do something that you've never done. Too often we want to be comfortable all the time. Nothing can rattle, nothing can make us step outside of our comfort zone, our little box that we've put ourselves in. We never want to come out of that. Nobody grows. No one grows from staying comfortable. Nobody does. No one who's experienced and achieved any level of success got there by being comfortable the whole time. They've made some type of change, and that's when growth happens. Every single person who's graduated high school, guess what? They've had to grow some type of way. They had to learn something they didn't already know. Because that's where change happens. You got to make yourself uncomfortable, y'all. Make yourself uncomfortable. That's when you're going to see something. And there's a lot of these areas, so many of these areas here, in which we want to see instant results. That's another thing. Some will not make a move unless there's some type of result. Instant gratification. That's a society we live in. And no, it's not a millennials thing. It's an everybody thing. People my age are quick to say, well, I don't have time for that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you're up and breathing, you got time for it. It's about making time. You're up and breathing, you can make time for it. We all have something, and I'll wrap up in a second, but we all have something. Every one of us. We all have, and really look at yourself. If you don't think this is you, I'm telling you, take a second, really look at yourself here. But we all have something that is non-emergency. Okay? Something that's non-emergency. That if it happened in our lives, we will drop everything to take care of it. Your phone stops working. There are people out there and looking at how people are on their phones all the time. If your phone stops working, you will drop everything in the world. You will be late picking up your children from school, from the game, from this and that, everything else. You'll be you'll be almost missing your doctor's appointments if your phone goes out, because you will drop everything to make sure your phone is up and working. Because people need to get in touch with you, sure. But phones go out. Is that primarily the reason you're rushing to get your phone back, or is that or so you can go back to doing the social media thing? And again, be honest with yourself. You can come tell me anything, but it's about being honest with yourself. And no, it's not always phones. But when something happens, and again, I'm not talking about emergency stuff. I'm not talking about if you don't have food to eat tonight, you're going to stop and go get it. That's not what I mean. Groceries, things like that. I'm talking about that one thing that's non-emergency, that life will continue if you don't do this right now, that you will stop. And that's what I'm telling you. Make yourself uncomfortable. You see how uncomfortable you feel in those instances? That's uncomfortable that you have to feel when you want success. Now, I'm not saying forego rest. We need rest. We got to do that. Rest and recovery, that's important too. That's vital to this. But not to the extent, because we love to sit there. We live in a society where we embrace all the lazy and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. Get your rest. Get your rest. But if you're sleeping 10, 11, 12 hours a day and you're not catching up on sleep, you're not recovering from being sick, you're not recovering from injury or anything like that, you're doing that just for the sake of doing it because I just like to sleep. You're not tired. You just want to sleep. You're not hurt. You just want to sleep. You're not recovering from anything. You just want to sleep. You are not going to be successful if you do that. You got to cut back. You got to make yourself uncomfortable. But don't forego rest and what you need, because that's part of it too. The last point I'll bring up is the people we associate with when it comes to this. Yeah, that's another uncomfortable part. You're gonna have to you are going to have to cut some people loose. You're gonna have to cut some people loose. You are not going to be able to keep all the same friends and acquaintances if you are working towards success, because you know what? Everybody is not going to look at you the same way as they once did. That's a sad fact, but that's the way it is. You're going to have to give up some time with them. And people are not going to be okay with that. If you go to the club, let's say every Saturday, every Friday, Saturday, or whatever, and you decide to say, you know what, let me catch up with y'all later. I got some stuff I need to do here. Every single person that you hang with is not going to say, oh, okay, cool, no problem. We'll catch up again later on. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to look at you, oh, you think you're better than us now. Oh, why are you doing that? That's not going to get you anywhere. You know how hard it is to publish a book? Oh, man, losing weight? Why? Why not just be happy? You're going to get all of that. Don't try to be an actress. That's such a hard job to get into. Everybody's fighting for it and all. They will tell you everything to not do it. But this is what I say about odds. Odds are for Vegas. You want odds? Go to Vegas. But if even one person is doing it, that means you can do it too. That's it. But you're going to get that. And sometimes you're going to have to get rid of people who you've known for a long time. Or you may just need to take a break from them. But you're going to have to change who you deal with as well. And that's a big one a lot of us don't want to give up. I know you went to school with this person. This person's in your family. We can't give up that kind of stuff. I knew them for all this time and all this and that. Or they tell me the truth. People love telling the truth. Everybody can tell the truth to everyone but themselves. But, this person is being truthful and honest and all this. No, you're going to have to cut some people loose. That's it. Everyone is not going to be open and warm to what you're trying to do, to your success. They don't want to see you get success. Let's say you're someone trying to lose weight. If you're trying to lose weight, you're always going to have that friend who insists that you just eat everything. And that friend is well aware of what you're trying to do. There's no ignorance there. There's no confusion about what you're looking to accomplish with your weight loss, nutrition, fitness goals. They know exactly what you're trying to do. If this is a constant thing where they're trying to throw you off your game, you're going to have to cut them loose. And that's going to make you uncomfortable. But you know what? You're not going to see that level of success that you're looking for unless you do that. You need to make yourself uncomfortable, everybody. When you start feeling uncomfortable, or when you're getting rid of things or sacrificing to the extent that you start feeling uncomfortable, guess what? That means you're on your way. Enjoy it. This is Robert People of RobertPeople.com. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. Be uncomfortable.